the saga continues, and of course, it's about Disney. Adults are actually insane. And I'm very curious because it's from Big Craig. I have seen his content before. It's very interesting, and I'm kind of curious what this one's all about. So let's go ahead and take a look. I am curious.
If you walked around a Disney park today, you'd probably notice something strange, and you'd ask yourself, where are all the children? The Disney parks are now filled with adults getting drunk in bars, eating thousands of calories worth of...
Whoa! Holy heck. Wait, you're telling me all these women are single and at a Disney park and no husbands, no kids? Of course. Of course.
snacks, TikTokers taking pictures in the women's bathrooms, and worst of all, putting themselves into massive amounts of debt to go to Disney parks. Disney parks are now filled with some of the most cringe individuals to walk the planet, also known as Disney adults. There's countless videos on YouTube which criticize Disney adults for the way they act like children and are really cringe.
And we've seen some of them.
While that's interesting to explore, and I'll definitely make another video on the cringe side, I want to look at Disney adults from another perspective. What is the financial cost of being a Disney adult? From over-consumerism, having to buy every single product Disney releases, every single limited edition piece of merch, to the limited edition must-eat snacks to try.
That is crazy stuff. Is that what they really feed people over there? What is this? It looks like a heart. Oh my, it's not the same thing. What is this?
Every park, and even the cost of just getting into the parks. How on earth do these people afford it?
This couple, they spent $21,000 in 1 month when they make $7,000 a month. They're obsessed with Disney. Lots of Disney adults are.
True.
They spent $2,000 on Disney exclusive passes and then went to Disney World, spent a lot of money on that. Then they're going to Disney World 2 times next month and then 1 time in the summer.
That's a lot of money on Disney.
But unlike most lesbians, I think they're going to last forever though because they're on the same page. And usually couples that aren't on the same page about money, that's where they divorce. Them, they're on the same page about wanting to ruin their lives.
I think this was what's really crazy. I think if he never done this video, or if, you know, obviously if he didn't show this video, obviously they have full control of the ladies on this podcast. If they somehow said like, no, we don't want it, it wouldn't be as big, because I never even heard Disney adults until this video came out that they spend a lot of money. I heard some stories here and there, but never like this. This was insane. When I saw the video went viral and seeing how these women were spending money like crazy, I was just thinking about it. There's no way these people existed, but they do. I am shocked how bad it really gotten. I'm shocked. And obviously I'm pretty sure it's nostalgia, and obviously they just want to be treated as a kid and so forth and so on. It's just trying to cling to that, you know, memory that they had when they were, you know, very young. And obviously that's a big problem of its own.
For Disney.
Before we look at the insane costs of Disney, we need to take a step back and understand how the parks themselves got to be so expensive in the first place. 40 years ago, trips to Disney were easy and pretty affordable for the average family.
And there was actually a lot of kids that were actually going. It was mostly kids were actually begging their parents to go see it. And it was a lot cheaper back then too. It wasn't very expensive. So obviously it made sense. And, you know, it's kind of rare seeing just these two go. But I'm pretty sure they were just trying to have memories, and it was nice back then. You know, the boomer era, who knew?
All you'd have to think about was your ticket, a hotel if you wanted to stay for a few days, and whatever food you fancied eating at the park. Going to Disney today, however, is a totally different story. It's a stack of microtransactions that add up, leaving guests broke by the time they leave, checking their bank accounts and being horrified with the amount of money they've ended up spending. A Disney World ticket in 1971 cost $3.50, and if inflation were the only factor, it would cost around $27 today.
That's I will never go to Disney World. Only even a special occasion, maybe, but that's gotta be rare. I cannot do this. This is insanity.
But now a one-day ticket starts at $189.
What? You're saying that maybe take with your family and kids? Yeah, that's the point. It's like if you want to go into a Disney World, it's like, yeah, go to it with, you know, family and friends and, you know, with kids if you have any. And don't get me wrong, you could go there by yourself eventually, but you don't have to spend all this money and all that stuff. It's like special occasions. I could understand that. And, you know, sharing memories, but going there almost like, let's just say, like what, like, a, you know, adult Disney, you know, like supposedly they're trying to be kids, but in reality, they're just a little bit unstable. Like spending all that money is kind of just not good. It's not really good.
Making Disney more expensive has been a key strategic goal by the company, conveniently amplified by the term.
Yeah, I do think Disney has a big role into this because they are doing this thing to attract, you know, mostly adults because they're the ones who actually have the money and, you know, 100%. They're the ones who are willing. Well, obviously, they're the only ones who could pay for it because kids can't pay for this. So that's true.
Grown in popularity around 2015. The trend and term instantly
Oh my heaven and
became a meme, with people laughing at their own obsession with Disney.
And the funny thing is they don't care at all. They would rather just be feeling very naturally really good than, you know, feeling terrible and just, you know, continuing life as miserable and all that, because they would rather just be in Disney World all the time. And that's what's crazy. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them are actually making a lot of money. Or actually mostly probably by money, I mean they're taking it from the, you know, from the government, you know, debt and all that stuff.
From bawling their eyes out from meeting the favorite
Yeah, credit cards.
characters.
Pooh, I've waited 30 years to meet you.
Oh no, it's exactly the other video where they're crying. It's so sad seeing this. I get it. I understand, you know, to some extent, right? It's like if you never gone to Disney World or you never think you'll never go, and then all of a sudden, let's just say, it's kind of hard to at least to see a brighter spot to this. But I can understand if it's like your first time ever and you never thought you'll ever go, and it's probably like a gift or something, maybe. But it's such a long stretch. So even this is kind of hard to believe. But I think it's just difficult. It's difficult to justify this. Because you're an adult now and you're supposed to act like an adult, but nobody wants to be an adult. That's the problem. Because, you know, reality stinks, and I get it. I 100% get it. Boo!
To their insane collections of toys and Disney merch.
The girls that get it, and the girls that don't.
What's that supposed to mean? Wait, what?
There was one very
I guess a copyright thing.
important thing that Disney realized that these obsessive adult fans had that the kids do not, and that was money. As the parks expanded,
Yeah, see, exactly what was I talking about. They're aiming mostly about, you know, adults because they're the ones with the cash. And obviously they tried doing it with kids, but the problem is with kids, they can't leverage, you know, their parents to keep going every single day. But but obviously Disney could concentrate on, you know, adults that have nostalgia and obviously can't have kids, but because they became the kids, you know, that's why they're adult kids and they're willing to spend so much money. Yeah, I know it's a lot of loops and logic to get into that little area where Disney's very good at, because they're really good at marketing their stuff. If it's good.
then people were willing to spend more.
If that makes any sense.
Disney piled on extra charges since 2016, and they didn't seem to be stopping. Dynamic pricing, paid parking, individual lightning lane, Fast Pass Plus, paid ride reservations, special event reservations, dining plans, photo pass,
passes.
all while removing free services like the free Fast Pass and the free airport transport services. When you
There's nothing free anymore. It's crazy. There's nothing free. Take that away.
Look at how these services increase the price so dramatically, it's actually pretty scary. Dynamic pricing works by
Status pricing, single prices point. Oof. Look at those. And look at dramatic prices, multiple prices points. Yep. Just keep doing everything.
increasing the price when there's more demand for a ticket. School holidays and peak times were at least double the price as usual. The Fast Pass Plus also uses dynamic pricing, so if the park is extremely busy and the rides are popular, the price for the Fast Pass Plus will be too. Dropping $500 for a Fast Pass is genuinely insane, and it's only for one day too. It actually costs more than the ticket itself. But the sad thing is, because the parks are so busy, you pretty much have to buy the fast passes unless you only want to go on 3 or 4.
Yeah, when I went to Disneyland for the first time ever, man, those lines were huge. And obviously there was some sort of fast pass, if I remember correctly. I never went back. I only went there one time in my life. And the lines were huge. It was annoying as hell. And just trying to get to the front was extremely bad because there's handicaps, and there are always a lot of them. They easily got there, obviously I understand that, but there was people that did have some sort of passes that do end up going in the front of the line, and obviously we barely rode any rides that day, but we did got eventually bumper cars and all that stuff, roller coasters, but I think I only rode like a few rides that I remembered, and it was just it wasn't that much of a big deal. But it was annoying, I could just imagine today, though. Like, I could just imagine there's more people now more than ever. So, it's crazy.
Or rides and wait in queues for hours. From an English perspective, this concept is pretty insane. Like, yeah, we do have fast passes at UK theme parks, but you can get them for like £10 at parks like Thorpe Park and Alton Towers. And I get they might not be as busy as Disney World, but is it really worth the £500 difference? And I think it's worth mentioning that it's actually optional to have fast passes at theme parks. Several European parks outright refuse to use them because from a moral perspective, they don't believe that you should be able to skip a queue because you're richer than some other person, or more willing to go into debt to get them. 2 European theme parks, Bellewaerde and Efteling, say that they don't offer fast passes because we don't wish to give anyone preferential treatment. To be honest, it is a complete money grab by Disney's.
Yeah, well, don't they get more money that way anyway, or it just doesn't matter? Yeah.
So they can get more guests into the park.
Yeah, so there you
have
go.
a payable option to skip the queues.
True.
And because the queues are so long, buying a fast pass is just as important as buying a ticket now. It's basically unavoidable if you want to spend more time on the rides and waiting in the queues. All of these additional costs slowly add up, forcing guests to spend more without even realizing it, adding to their Disney debt. Even though the list of additional charges that Disney's added over the past 10 years are absolutely insane, there's something else that Disney has incorporated that changed the game forever. For over 40 years, you couldn't have alcohol at a lot of Disney's parks, with a few
Really? Oh, so I'm guessing they actually have alcohol there now? Yeah, I'm guessing that's where it's going.
exceptions, of course. But flash forward to now, and alcohol is one of the big reasons Disney adults come to the park.
Well, because of course they're adults now, and obviously the adults are the ones who are actually spending the money to get, liquor, and obviously they're, it is kind of weird that there is alcohol in, in children park, technically speaking, in Disneyland, but it is slowly becoming mostly about adults, the theme park. And obviously it is sad because obviously kids are basically getting wheedled out from Disneyland, but because of, adults, because they're the ones with the money, they're the ones with the cash. And it looks like Disney is figuring out that more people that are adult Disneys are coming there more often. And they're like, why are we advertising for kids while we could advertise to adults, Disney adults? Yeah, obviously there is cases there they could have their own section of kids, which obviously that's what they're doing with alcohol, because obviously, just like I said, it's advertising just for Disney adults. They're the ones with the cash. They're the ones that are going to be coming there almost every single day. Oh yeah, of course, it's insanity. It is, and yeah, I don't like this tactic either. Trust me, the alcohol's like around like at least in like a theme park where kids are at. That's bad, at least for me. Yeah, right.
Since this shift, it's clear Disney now caters to their adult fans, offering an absolutely insane variety of alcoholic drinks available in all of the parks. But it's not just a few cocktails here and there, and they've even developed a famous drinking game in Epcot known as Drinking Around the World, where guests spend up to 6 hours on a bar crawl through 8 themed countries.
See what I mean? They are advocating for more adults to go there, and it's such a tactic, and they're wheedling out the kids, the family, obviously, because obviously the family won't be able to go there every single day. It makes sense, but adult Disney, they could go almost once a week if they have the cash. If not, they'll use their credit card or mama's credit card, whatever it is.
each with a cocktail inspired by the place they're in.
What the heck? This is your sign to get drinking around the world. Tattoos for the What is this? Mexico, Norwegian, China. So basically all these places? The heck?
We're gonna make it happen. Let's take a ride and spend the day in the countryside.
This is disturbing.
Aside from the awful audio, you get the point here. Disney is catering more towards Disney adults, who
Yes,
have a lot
of
more
course.
money to spend than the children. And as a quick side note, I really hope that tattoo was fake, because that is extremely embarrassing. But not only is this drinking game at Epcot great for getting people to spend over $200 on drinks alone if they complete the challenge, but selling alcoholic drinks is much more lucrative than sodas alone.
Yeah, because of course alcohol is more expensive and they get more value for alcohol than sodas, energy drinks, and all that kind of stuff. So obviously they'll go to the most thing that'll be selling the most. And it's going to suck because obviously, like I said, it's going to be one of those things that they're advocating mostly for adults. It's wrong, but they're doing it.
Coke or a juice for a child probably costs around $4, but a cocktail is closer to $20.
Yep.
The markup on these drinks is easy because the margins are so high. It definitely doesn't cost $20 to make a cocktail, but guests will happily pay for it because it's Disney themed. Serving alcohol also changes who...
A day drunk man makes fun of disabled guests at Walt Disney World before he gets beat down. What the heck? What's going on over there? I never once went to Disney World, but looks like they're going wild over there.
comes to Disney and why. Instead of it for being for kids' birthdays or special occasions for kids,
Well, because Disney needs money. It needs the green paper. And kids do not have that. That's why.
it's now a place for adult-only holidays and stag or hen do's, or bachelor parties, I think, to my American subscribers.
True.
There's even been entire Reddit threads talking about the alcohol consumption in Disney, with one person saying, it went from being a family-friendly experience to being a mob of drunk, dehydrated, aggressive...
God damn. And it will keep continuing. It will. The question is for how long, though? Because obviously, you know, birth rates is declining eventually. So eventually they're going to have to change their strategy eventually. So just saying.
behave worse than hungry children. Alcohol also encourages guests to stay longer, spending more time in the bars and restaurants, conveniently buy more food. I don't know about you, but when I've had a drink, I get absolutely starving, and it seems like Disney knows this too. And what better way to take advantage of all those slightly buzzed or just straight up drunk guests than the largest selection of snacks in the world, littered across almost every path in the park. At Disney, trying to...
Oh, what's this? It's you can't properly get a turkey leg at another theme park. That's true. Obviously, whatever they have. Man, I remember having a hot dog, and it was very expensive even during that time. But I can't remember the price because it was a long time ago. But it was a long hot dog, so I enjoyed it. Gay? What? Don't you dare!
Snacks are just as important as
What is that garbage? Oh, it's still
going on the
that.
rides and meeting the characters. The snacks are also
With the cars. Let me guess, $25 for this?
so ridiculously expensive, often between $10 to $20 for one.
Oh my god, I almost hit it. I did hit it, $20. So obviously, it's crazy how things change. It's nuts. Yeah, I remember did they had Disney or Mickey pretzels back in the day? Probably not. It was just a normal pretzel. At least you were there? Oh, okay. Whatever. Yeah, at least for me, I don't remember the pretzel. So I just ate a hot dog, so whatever. Yeah, that it was expensive back then too. I can't remember. It was like what, like $6 back then? Maybe close to 9 at the max. Maybe it was 10. I just don't remember.
Thing. And the most ridiculous thing that I found was...
Look, I'm not going back there, okay? Not even once. Maybe if I ever have kids, but obviously I doubt it. Heck, I'll take him to the park and say, this is Disneyland. There's the ducks. There's Donald Duck right there. Was just like a normal goose or something. I don't know. I'll make up something.
It's literally a
Let's see pics of your favorite Disney snack. What the heck is this? Is that a bacon? Bacon on a stick? It's probably expensive as heck.
stick with one piece of bacon on it for $10.
Who's calling that? Who's calling that shit?
That looks edible.
Who's calling that shit?
The snacks are already expensive, but slap a Mickey shape on there and you instantly pay more for just a shape.
Some basic theme park snacks that happen to be Mickey shaped and then cost $5 million. You'll spend almost $8 on a
That's what it is?
Mickey pretzel that is just okay, so I recommend instead spending that money on the Pepper Jack pretzel at Cheshire Cafe. It's a warm pretzel stuffed with gooey
So it's just a normal pretzel. Okay.
pepper jack cheese, and it's just way more worth it in my opinion. 2 Mickey bars are obvious.
I swear to God, the money print just keeps happening. Just add 3 circles and you're already making a ton of money.
Obviously iconic, but they're $6 for a basic chocolate ice cream bar. So
It looks so small too. This one, what is this? I'm guessing this is like a cookie and ice cream.
instead, you can get a fresh single scoop of ice cream at Plaza Ice Cream Parlor with Mickey ears for $4.99.
Why have that? I never once like eating ice cream in like this, like in a cup. I'd rather have it in a cone. But that's just me. Mickey ears for $4.99, $5 for this. It's not that bad, I guess. It's just yeah, it's fine, I guess. I wouldn't eat it, to be honest.
But it's not just 1 or 2 snacks that guests are having in the parks, as they're often spending over $50 on just snacks alone, and not even considering the main meals that they'll be having throughout the day.
This is a work of art. This is a work of art. This is a work.
What the heck? Bacon House cookies? Did they just smash a bunch of chocolate chips together and call it a cookie? There's mostly chips, like chocolate chips, than a dough in there. That's funny. Oh well, it's $6, so that doesn't look edible, but I guess.
Work of art. This is a work of art. This is a work.
You know what? That looks fine. I'll eat that. See, that one's fine. You know, obviously it's a cup thing. I'm not gonna be I just want to taste it at the max. But yeah, this is not the best.
Of art. But this.
What the heck is that? Teach us $10. Right.
Is a work of art.
Is everything from Disney a work of art?
Going to the parks together will often be spending over $100 every day just on snacks. This is just simply too much to try. Disney creates FOMO.
Jesus, diabetes. No wonder they're huge.
Over snacks, calling them must try to create scarcity, and they often change seasonally. Once they're gone, and they don't come back. So if guests are there, they feel like they need to try it all.
Wait, so you're telling me they actually changed the way how the desserts look? That's actually quite genius, to be honest. Like actually getting that fear factor that it's going to be a once in a lifetime like snack, and then people were willing to buy it. That's crazy. Damn, they know what they're doing. Disney sure is a crazy evil corporation. It's nuts.
There and then. They're obviously all themed too, so Disney adults need to try them because the food is from their favorite shows. Who cares if they can't afford it? They can just use the credit cards to buy them.
That's
true. About Disney adults, it wouldn't feel right to not mention the plus-size park hoppers, and they're just as popular for their food recommendations.
My heavens. Put down the cup, ladies, for the love of God.
As they are for their controversial "If I fit, I sit" videos, which I have covered before on the channel.
Hey everyone, we're plus size park hoppers, and this is everything we ate.
Plus size what?
In a day as plus size best friends at Disney's Magic Kingdom. We started our day by having lunch at the Plaza
And there's one dude at least.
Restaurant on Main Street. We find that the food tastes better than any of the quick service options available at Magic Kingdom, and it's pretty affordable too. Katie started off with the Plaza loaded fries, which
$15.
These come with melted cheddar, bacon, green onion, and spicy sour cream. Ashley and I both got the triple deck.
You know what? That's fine. $20 though? Oof. I don't know about that though. I would eat that just because of the sandwiches. At least that's a little bit more healthier. The fries ain't though, but for the whole day, absolutely. But obviously, that's a little too much. The fries, but 20, yeah, too. What I'm trying to say is too expensive. That's a little too much.
Turkey club sandwich. This sandwich is really good and it's our go-to every time we go. We also thought that the portion was pretty big for the price. Katie got the Chipotle barbecue pork sandwich.
Of course, the pork sandwich. I'm sorry. At least it's less expensive than the sandwich. Oh no, God.
Sandwich with a gluten-free bun. And for dessert,
gluten-free, eh?
Milkshake. Later on that day, Katie got the Aurora cone, but without a cone to make it gluten-free from Storybook Treats.
I'll eat
And
that.
Ashley and I split the candied bacon skewer from Westward.
That's almost $10.
This was the perfect combination of salty and sweet, and also, who doesn't love a snack on a stick? Before we left the park, we were thirsty for ice cream.
It's still ice cream. Stop it! You're killing me. Stop eating ice cream. Please, no more. You should be done with ice cream, please. If you ask for another ice cream, I'm gonna lose it.
So Katie headed over to Aloha Isle and got the coconut pineapple Dole Whip. Then
Okay.
Ashley and I headed over to
Wait, what ice cream? Or is that coffee? I can't.
to the Plaza ice cream party. We each got the All-American Sundae, which is one of our favorite sweet treats in Magic Kingdom. If you're a fan of chocolate and peanut butter, then this is the ice cream for you. When we got back to Saratoga Springs,
They're still hungry. Why?
we headed to the Artist Palette for dinner. Ashley and I both got the shrimp with green beans and
You know, at least you're eating something healthy. At least eat that. Just eat more greens with the mashed potato and this is $15, so I don't think this is worth it, in my opinion. I don't think it's worth it.
mashed potatoes, which was pretty good for a quick service dinner. Katie got the chicken and rice bowl, but we accidentally forgot to record it. And then
Wait, you're telling me there's more to that that didn't record? That's nuts.
we ended our night in the hot tub.
Focusing just on what Katie eats because she is one of the biggest people there, and I'm not trying to bully her, but she.
No. They need to get bullied. I'm sorry. They need to. Sometimes, life changes if you start acting a little bully. I bullied my aunt before. She was huge. She got a lot healthier because I bullied her. And trust me, I say the meanest things. So obviously, I couldn't bully these ladies into losing some weight. But I have to be around them 24/7. But yeah, I am. Yeah, Chatter. I am a much of a prick. Okay, but it's not my fault. I'm helping in some degree. I want them to be healthier. I want them to exercise, but I get it. Obviously they're just there. For Disneyland or Disney World to at least at least if they're gonna go there once a year and they're gonna eat something like a lot from Disney, it might as well be that day. But I'm guessing they've been there more than a couple of days, or like once a year. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna go back here for the next 2 weeks.
He eats nearly 5,000 calories worth of food and snacks.
That is a lot.
At the park in a single day, not even including what you'll have been eaten before or after the video. This food came to over $50 as well, which is just so expensive for one day, especially with the majority of it being from snacks. Now I totally agree, when you're at Disney, you should eat whatever you want, because it's a treat and you probably won't go again for a few years.
Yeah, see, exactly. You wouldn't go back there for a whole year, but I'm pretty sure those ladies will be back next Tuesday. Look, it's crazy.
I mean, even I did a 10k calorie challenge, and I won't be doing one again anytime soon. But the plus size park hoppers seem to be going to a park every week. This isn't cheap, nor is it healthy. Now the plus size park...
Well, Chatter, if somebody called me fat, yeah, exactly. If I would want somebody to call me, well, if I am fat, you know what I'm trying to say? If I am gaining so much weight, I would rather have somebody, like a good friend of mine, telling me, hey, you are humongous, and then I would understand. I'll be like, what, I gotta hit the gym, bro. I gotta eat healthier, because I would want them to tell me the truth. I want to be at least healthy, but I'm guessing these ladies would rather not. They're eating themselves to death. That's what I'm just saying, because seriously, that is not healthy. We need to bring back shame. Absolutely.
coppers do have a social media presence, so they might be able to afford this. But normal Disney adults are doing this too. They're going to Disney way more than they can afford and eating way more than they can afford to. They're so consumed by Disney that they totally let themselves go wild and have no boundaries when it comes to indulging and consuming whatever they want. Whether it's food, merchandise, or going to the parks multiple times a year. And for all of these reasons that we've looked at, it's no wonder why so many people have gone into debt just to be able to go to Disney. 45% of guests with young children have gone into debt.
Okay, so it says right here, the magic of Disney is sending parents into debt. Among the 77 of the theme park going, parents with children younger than 18 would have been to Disney. Yeah, I know, I get it. You know, obviously you want to take your kids out to, to Disney World, taking out to debt. I do have a problem with that a little because obviously you don't want, like taking your kids while you have to pay the house bills and all that kind of stuff. And obviously you don't want, let's just say the lights turn off magically when you're back in the house just because you went to a day or technically speaking a day at Disney World. Just because, you don't want to pay your house bills and then you're getting evicted. So there's a lot of steps. And I do understand that you have to take the kids to have memorable experiences, but there is a limit to that. So I do agree and disagree with that. Like, yeah, eventually, exactly, Chatter. When you have a little bit of stability with your income, obviously, and you could kind of afford it, right? Like, I don't mind if kids have, like, good memories. That's what the more magical thing is about it. But if you're doing it for yourself, and that's a little bit bad. And obviously, 45% of account into debt for the trip within 83% required the mostly. So, yep, it's mostly just Disney adults, but it's very less than that, though. So that's good.
To be able to go to Disney. And 24% of adults with no children have gone into debt to go to Disney too.
True.
And it's rising too, as stats are up 33%
Yep.
from the same survey in 2022. From the posts that I've seen, part of the magic of Disney is also going into debt. It's joked about like it's funny, like it's cooler to be in debt than not. Like it's some sort of badge of honor to say, I went into debt so I could go to Disney. They act as if Disney's some friendly corporation who's happy to lend you the money, and they like to pretend that it's not an entity that would send the bailiffs when you ultimately miss a payment.
It's because they don't care. They really absolutely don't care. They just want to feel good, even if it's just for that day or even for that hour. They just want to feel nice, protected of their little memories of whatever they had back in the day and just want to, just have a good time. But after that, yeah, they rather just, forget about being an adult, really.
I think a huge part of this is caused by the childlike nature of Disney.
There it is.
And why they feel
there it
entitled
is.
to go. It's like a form of therapy for them. Many Disney adults explain their obsession with Disney as being a result of not having a proper childhood. And that's true. There's many children who grew up in households that couldn't afford to go to Disney, or they had some sort of trauma. But
yeah, it's both. There's absolutely. Obviously, I only went there one time, but I never really cared about going there again. But that's just me. I never really cared about Disney, even though I did, like Disney because of the movies and all that, but I never had the urge to go. Like, I need to go right away. I need to do all these things. And obviously, it's just probably my childhood was a little bit better. And maybe, obviously, these adults see it as an opportunity to actually kind of have some sort of, like some sort of childhood that they missed out on. But in reality, they're just kind of hurting themselves. Oh, yeah, of course. They're getting the magic sucked out of them with their money debt, and obviously. Or gaining that magic with debt.
That shouldn't be worth going into thousands of dollars of debt for. The worst part about this TikTok video is the number of comments supporting the creator, encouraging each other to continue to go into debt to solve their child.
This healed my inner childhood. Why am I crying? I love Pooh Bear so much. Winnie the Pooh is my absolute favorite. The way he holds the baby Pooh reminds me of, yep, and they're they're gassing each other up for it. It's like, yep, we're all going to Disney World to go get, our poos and, go into debt, all that kind of stuff. It just sucks.
Traumas. This healed my inner child. This would cure my depression. The best thing is you're making memories and enjoying life, so he is worth what you paid. Hope you had a good time, that is all that matters. Maybe it's just me, but I don't see how seeing a person in a suit in real life would cure your trauma. You'd be much better off seeing a therapist. But it's not just people who are going into...
I have a little opinion about that, a hot take on that. I don't think therapists are working. I don't think so. I think, look, there is probably professionals that are really good, but I really think there's some of them that are not working very well. Because obviously there's still a mental crisis going on here, at least in the States. So, and I know I heard a lot of people that did go, but for some reason it looks like it's not working. They always have some sort of mentality. Sometimes there could be scams, but so far that I know, I've seen a lot of people that supposedly did go, and it's still not working. That could just be me. Maybe I'm just not seeing the full picture of their mentality. Maybe it is a work in progress, but how long would it take, though, until they finally fix? Which sometimes you can't fix. I'm sorry. It's just impossible. The brain's mysterious.
Debt specifically because of Disney. Many Disney adults
You're telling me I need to see a therapist? You're right.
are still choosing to go when they are already thousands of dollars in debt.
Trips are coming up.
So,
please don't tell me trips are coming up.
Well, I've been trying to plan a Disney cruise.
That's insanely expensive.
I know.
That?
I forgot about the Disney cruise. I forgot that was a thing, but it's very true. The Disney cruise is very expensive as hell.
How much is that going to cost?
Well,
how much is that going to cost?
For
a lot.
The weeks that I needed to go, so it had to be specific because he can't get off work. He has shut down on 2 weeks a year. So the price for the week we needed to go was going to be $8,000 for the cruise.
Oh my! That is a month of your income, lady. You said you want to control.
You don't understand, Caleb. It's the mouse.
The money because you cannot trust him, so that you guys can pay off debt, so that you can get married. That is what you open this conversation with. You. That is not the truth. That is both. That is both. That is both. That is both.
I get wanting to go on expensive holidays, I really do. But the best thing you can do instead is to be financially stable first. If you absolutely need to get away, there are so many things you can do for cheap. At least from in the UK, I can go somewhere in Europe for less than £500. I know America's a bit different, but there are definitely cheaper places to go than Disney.
But will it bring back my inner child? That is the problem.
And to put it into perspective just how expensive Disney trips can get, this guy spent over 30 grand to take his entire family to Disney.
We stayed here for a little over a week and it was about 30 grand.
Did you use any debt to pay for that trip?
No, we had savings that we had.
Which resort?
All sport. All inclusive was the way to go for us.
See, that's pretty good. I like that. He was actually saving up. He took his family. He made memories with them. And you know what? That's pretty good. I actually like that kind of mentality. If you want to have a trip, you save up, don't go into debt with it, and you actually take your whole family and, grandchild, so forth and so on, and just have a good time. And obviously you don't have to worry about oh shit, am I going to have to pay the bills next week or something like that? It's nice. It's a good thing that he did that. And obviously he's not going broke for it either.
I took 5 grandchildren and all their parents.
I'm not a Disney expert, but people in the comments of this video point out that the All-Star Sports Hotel is actually the worst one. So it's not that they're getting the luxury.
Well, that's the thing. He probably doesn't go there every single year. So, and obviously the people who do point that out are the people that go there almost every single month, maybe even every couple of weeks. So obviously it's come on, he's doing something really good for them, for his family at least.
Experience from that 30 grand. If you've got the money to burn, sure, spend this much, but the fact that ordinary people with regular jobs are trying to be on the same level is just insane to me. It's no surprise people have to go into debt to afford this. On Caleb Hammer's financial audit, a Disney adult couple joined the show to talk about their insane debt and why they still choose to go to Disney despite this.
You spent $1,000 on just being at Disney on here. $1,000.
I don't know why they do this. It's just, well, we do know why. It's just, why? And I'm asking my own questions. It's just the mentality of it. That's the problem. They owe themselves to go to see the mouse and have this lovely memories back in their youth, or the ones that they're trying to gain, because obviously they missed out on the mouse. It's so confusing, and it's so, painful to trying to get these memories, even though you probably never had a very good childhood, which sucks. But it's just, obviously you don't have to go. Like, look, you could go once a year, maybe like every 6 months, maybe, but you don't have to go into debt for it. It's just, that's the problem. Yes, the mouse is winning.
Just on the Disney crap.
I mean,
for a day, for 1 day, $1,000 for a day. Guys, you make $7 a month net, and you blew through a seventh of it in a day. Unacceptable. Missing our student loan payments, i.e., the money you borrowed.
I love how they don't
subsidize from us, the taxpayers. These ones.
I love how they're smiling. It's like, yeah, we're gonna go anyway, Caleb, and you can't stop us. I'm sorry.
Right here, us. You're not paying it back, but you're going to Disney.
The mouse.
I'm gonna pay it back.
You're not.
Our next paycheck.
Maybe we'll see that, or
yeah, maybe
you can have a bonus trip to Disney because there's a hidden relative's birthday you didn't know about.
Well, next month both trips we're going with other people, so we've already committed to splitting the hotel with them.
Yeah, call them and say, oh, wait, I forgot that I'm literally a poor.
These girls are so delusional that they think going to Disney is more important than getting out of debt, that they even add to it. Debt is no joke, and people like this tend to forget that. It can ruin your life. They can lose their houses, their cars, their entire livelihoods, and in this case, all to go to Disney. Even for people who try to just avoid going into debt just to visit the parks, Disney has created new schemes to entice them to. In this video, a woman shares her story of how she was essentially duped into a points-based scheme at Disney that ended up leaving her with significant debt.
This is part 3 of how we got into massive debt, and this is one of my...
How we got into $128,000 of debt, part 3. What? Oh, now that's impressive. That is very impressive. I don't know what you did to do all that, but that's impressive. All for the mouse.
Most embarrassing debts that we have. A few years ago, our family took a trip to Disney and we impulsively purchased the Disney Vacation Club. And we did so by financing it. If you don't know what the Disney Vacation Club, or DVC, is, it's kind of like a timeshare for Disney World. Except instead of having one specific resort or specific weeks of the year that you get to use it, it's a point system. You buy a certain number of points, and then those points can get redeemed at any DVC resort any time of the year that they have availability. That means you can end up staying at Disney World properties, Disneyland properties, and they also have other DVC resorts like in Hawaii and in Europe. So it definitely provides like a lot of opportunity to travel. Now, with that being said, this is a very bougie luxury purchase that we had no business making. There were some incentives when we purchased, so the total cost of financing was around $27,000.
That's crazy. That is so this is wow. I have no words. I just can't. Oh my God.
Now, was this stupid? Yes.
It is.
But I promise you, our hearts were in a good place, but
no,
like,
it's
our
not.
financial literacy was zero.
Financing 27 grand worth of Disney is just absolutely insane to me. That could pay for a house deposit or even multiple cars. There's so many things that you could do with that money instead of buying a Disney holiday. And the worst part about all of this is that Disney adults 100% support each.
You go to a different country just to visit and be a lot cheaper. And make memories off that. But nope. Gotta give it to the mouse.
If they're all in debt together, there's no judgment.
Fair point. Pooh.
Disney is such an all-encompassing entity with so much to buy that many Disney adults can go into debt without even having to go to the parks. They spend thousands on limited edition merch, collectibles, and literally anything with Disney printed on it. This really is overconsumption at its finest. I can't help but stare at all those Mickey...
What are these, all mirrors? Guys, I think my Disney ear collection is complete. I won't be buying anymore. You sure about that, buddy? I'm guessing that's Stitch. Of course, Mouse. That is nuts. My guy, you got a problem.
Ears and wonder what else could have been bought instead. They're not cheap either, around $50.
That is true. I didn't expect on the prices. This is no way. This is almost $45. There's no freaking way. This is nah. For this, I give up. I'm done.
Each. And I'm no Disney expert. I might be after this video, but I'm sure that the ears are bought to be worn in the parks. So does this create a plan on going to Disney over 100 times to wear each pair at a different time? I don't know. There are so many Disney adults who have an absolutely insane amount of merch too.
It reminds me even like Star Wars fans that they have all these collections too. It's like collectors are like massive obsessed with the franchise and they're willing to buy and go into debt for that specific thing. Oh yeah, like Warhammer. Yeah. But Warhammer's cool. You're talking about Legos? Oh, okay.
I don't want to be too judgmental, but at this point it just seems like hoarding. You don't do anything with any of this, it's just stuff. It's not like other collectibles like Warhammer figures maybe, that people spend lots of time painting or having hundreds of books to read. It's just stuff. A lot of Disney merch can only be bought at specific parks too, not online or in any stores outside the parks. So there's an exclusivity of that makes it so much more popular. Ultimately, I can understand why parents want to take their kids to Disney even though they're in debt. But there are ways to make it cheaper. They can stay off-site instead of the park hotels to make it cheaper. Bring some of their own food and drinks, and maybe even stay for a shorter time. But Disney adults, I think if you have so much debt already, and will be going into more debt just to go to Disney, I just don't think it's worth going, to be honest. Now, I know this video is pretty finance heavy, so if you want me to react to more of the sort of cringe side of Disney adults, let me know in the comments below.
Please.
If you want to watch my full video on the plus size park hoppers, click the video on the screen now. Follow my Instagram at BigCraigYT, subscribe to my main channel and my compilation channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yep. That is...
Parks.
That is 100%... Where is it? This one's looking good. Hold on, where is it? Oh, there it is. Obviously, we know what it is. It's Disney adults are actually insane, and I do agree 100%. It's if you're gonna go for a debt, maybe do it for your kids and your family, so forth, to have a nice experience, but only go for a year instead of like every other month or every week. And obviously, I love this video. It's very, very insightful of the mind of an adult, adult Disney kid, And obviously, go ahead. I love Big Craig. I've seen his content before. I really enjoy it. So go give him a subscribe and a like. And I will see you guys on the next one. All right, later. Bye.